The night the phone rang, Anna felt the floor drop beneath her feet. In a single sentence, everything she had planned, her job, her home, her quiet future, crumbled. This is a story about that breaking moment, and about the surprising, gentle force that put the pieces back together, love. Stay with me, what follows will sit heavy in your chest, and then lift you. From the very first breath of this tale you will meet fear, loss, quiet courage, and a love that does not rush but quietly repairs. In the next few minutes you'll see how one life can fall apart and how small acts, a shared cup of tea, an open ear, a stubborn kindness, can heal what seemed hopeless. Listen closely, one small choice changes everything. Anna had always been careful. She worked as a nurse, lived in a small flat above a bakery, and loved to paint late at night when the city lights looked like a soft ocean. Her life moved in steady rhythms until a single accident took her brother, left her with injury and debt, and closed the hospital doors to the steady job she relied on. Money vanished. Confidence retreated. The canvases dried untouched. At first, her days blurred. She stopped answering calls. She walked the streets with her coat tight, watching strangers pass like a parade of other lives. Sleep came in ragged pieces. She told herself she would be fine, that word a thin shield against the dark. But grief crept into small things, a kettle left cold, a painting abandoned mid-stroke, a laughter that used to come easy now only a memory. This was the breaking, the clear, raw pain of life changing in a blink. Then came the unexpected. One cold morning, while Anna sat on the stairs outside the bakery, a voice asked if the seat next to her was free. It belonged to Michael, a teacher who ran a night class nearby. His smile was small. His story was not mine, Anna thought, but as they talked, she realized he had lost much too, a marriage that fell apart, years he could not get back. In his eyes was a strange kind of patience. He asked questions that did not judge. He listened. Love in this story does not sweep Anna away in a single scene. It arrives in steps. First, Michael brought her soup. Then, he left a stack of old sketchbooks on her doorstep, broken things that had once inspired someone else. He introduced her to a group of neighbors who cleaned the small park behind the bakery. He invited her to a Saturday class where people mended clothes and shared stories. Slowly, Anna found herself going. Each small step mattered. She learned to name the hard feelings instead of hiding them. When she painted again, her first strokes were shaky, the colors were dark. But she painted. The neighbors clapped when she showed them a small landscape. It felt like sun after a long storm. She began to sleep better, not because the pain vanished, but because someone sat with her when it was hardest. A twist, Michael was not the white knight she had hoped for. He had his own collapse to recover from. One evening he confessed to Anna that he sometimes woke in the night with a panic that made his hands tremble. He had been pretending to be strong because he feared being alone. That truth made Anna see him differently, not as a savior but as a fellow traveler. Their love was not rescue, it was companionship between two people carrying scars. Learning this changed everything. It taught Anna that healing is rarely a story of one person fixing another. It is a story of two people choosing to walk together. Along the way, Anna found practical help too. Her old nursing certificate was worth more than she first thought. A volunteer clinic needed part-time aid. A local art charity bought a small painting to hang in their reception. These small openings gave her money, yes, but more importantly they gave her purpose. She taught a weekly art class for children who had lost parents to illness or war. In their eyes, she recognized her own pain, and their hope fed hers. The documentary truth here is simple but powerful: community matters. Love is not only romance. It is neighborly help, second chances at work, groups where people can be honest, and systems that offer a hand. Anna's recovery was messy and slow. There were relapses, nights when the weight returned and she wanted to retreat. But each time she reached out, there was someone, a teacher, a neighbor, a child, to remind her she was not alone. By the time spring arrived, Anna's small flat had color on the walls again. She had a part-time role at the clinic and a shelf of fresh canvases. Michael and Anna did not live in a fairy tale. They argued about bills and who forgot to buy milk. But they learned to forgive faster, to listen longer, and to hold space for each other's fear. Their love healed in ordinary ways: a hand held on a bad day, a shared laugh in the bath of sunlight, a quiet promise that they would try again tomorrow. When life breaks you, healing rarely snaps into place overnight. It comes in small acts: a bowl of soup, an offered ear, a class that reopens your skill. The deepest lesson from Anna's story is that love is work, patience, and honesty. It is an ethic of showing up even when hope is thin. If this story touched you, think of one small way you can show up for someone this week. Leave a comment about a time love helped you, share to remind someone that they are not alone, and subscribe for more stories that heal. Moral of the story: brokenness is part of being human, healing lives in connection. Love is not always grand, often it is the quiet hand that helps you stand.